فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم بمددكم ونظركم سيدي يا رسول الكريم يا حبيب العظيم مدد يا سيدي يا ستون الأولين الشيخ عبد الفيض الدغستاني Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Aad al-Haqqani Mawlana Shaykh Sham Kabani, Shaykh Adnan Kabani, Shaykh Muhammad Adil Abd Khaliq al-Khujdawani, Sahib Zaman Sayyidina Muhammad al-Mahdi alayhi salam, wa Ruhullah Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Saifullah Sayyidina alayhi salam, Thumma Sayyidina Abu Bakr Sadiq, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Uthman, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, Sayyidatina Fatimah alayhi salam, wa Sayyid wa Sadatina wa Siddiqina al-Fatiha. Shabad ya Rasul Kareem. Fa'auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Atiya Allah, atiya Rasul, ulul amri minkum. Ana abdukul ajizu, da'ifu, miskinu, zalimu, jahal, and but for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence. Alhamdulillah for this holy month of Rajab and this realities of Holy Qur'an, that this word munafiq and its translation not accurate. Hypocrite, someone pretending to be with you but not with you, somebody who makes an oath and doesn't break it. Surah Munafiqeen, Allah is giving something much more severe. That we said at the beginning, their shahada is false. So there are people in this community who either believe themselves to be Muslim, think themselves to be Muslim, or outright know they're not Muslim. They take it as a pretense to enter into a community and try to attack people. Allah lays the foundation for us, a reminder for myself, their shahada is false. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. They say it, they don't believe it. Reconfirming to Prophet I believe, I'm giving you this authority, they don't, and evil is their plan. And evilness means the evil one, the accursed one has attached themselves to that reality, it's not something small. Then Allah begins to describe their wrongdoings and said, what? That we won't forgive them, that even you pray over them, don't pray over them, I will not forgive them, I will punish them, and many difficulties coming to them. And them we went over nice and clearly, these are the people who come against Sayyidina Muhammad. Allah clearly identifies, they don't do dhikr. Don't ever let your family or anything in your life stop you from the remembrance of Allah. Why family? Because you say, okay, my life is busy, I can't. There's no excuse to stop remembering Allah. stop the love for Allah, and the remembrance of Allah is durood al-sharif, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad, because it has the zikr of Allah and the praisings of His Sayyidina Muhammad all encapsulated. And then Allah said, go test them. We want to find this level of munafiq whom Allah describes as evil, non-forgivable and going to be badly punished in dunya and akhirah. Go test them. What was the test? That come to us, let us go to Sayyidina Muhammad, let him, Prophet ask for your forgiveness. These same people who say, nobody can forgive but Allah, they're lying, because Allah is telling us, no, test the munafiqeen. They tell them, go to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad and let Prophet pray for their forgiveness. And you will see them not accepting, turning their back in pride and arrogance. Well, how will you get the prayers of Sayyidina Muhammad in this dunya right now? Prophet gave to us, make one durood al-sharif upon me, Allah sends me to be in your presence, my soul to be in your presence. At that time you make your durood al-sharif, make your istighfar, say, Ya Rasul Kareem, that your light is with me, I'm praising upon you, praising upon Allah, remembering you. Remember me in a higher association. Astaghfirullah wa astaghfirukum Rasul. That Allah ja'uka wa astaghfirullah. That tell them when they're oppressors to themselves to go to you. Allah's saying, when they are oppressors to themselves, go to you Sayyidina Muhammad, asking Allah's forgiveness in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, because our asking is of no value. We're with shaitan. Don't think highly of yourself, then you don't know yourself. One whom is an oppressor to themselves, dirty to themselves, bad character to themselves, but you have to think like that. But Prophet described there's a people who come in the last days, youth. If you ask them to make istighfar, they think themselves, why? And they gave an example of one such a youth, and Prophet went up to the youth and said, do you think you're like the best one here? So definitely. As a matter of fact, yes I do. Because they think everything prideful about themselves, they don't think anything wrong with themselves, and the biggest sin is to think you don't have to make istighfar. Why do I have to make istighfar? What I do wrong? Really? There's about 700 sins that were forbidden for us, you probably know only 5 of them. 700 sayyat. So it's an easy system, make istighfar all the time, astaghfirullah al-azim, astaghfirullah al-azim. Bisifat al-azim, that Allah wipe away every badness. It's a cleansing for us, and as a result we're being washed like a shower. So this level of hypocrisy that's so badly punishable, and that Allah seals the heart of the individual, finished, there's no way back. Punishment comes, evilness labelled, and the heart become locked. This is still the external reality. And then where's the last 2 verses we go? Because it's 11 holy verses which has to do with the Divinely Mirror. So we'll go over 10 and 11 tonight inshaAllah, and then go into the spirituality. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, bismillahir rahmanir raheem.
And spend from what we have provided you before death approaches any one of you, and he then says, My Lord, why did you not give me respite for a little while, so I would have given charity and become of the virtuous?
That word used is Saliheen. How to become righteous and pious, Allah gives the formula. That righteousness and piousness is achieved by charity. And when the servant dies, they're not going to ask to go back for Hajj. They're not going to go back and ask to make up their prayers. They're not going to go ask for this and for that. The only thing they're going to ask Allah, let me go back and give everything I had. Everything I had to give it away. So that not to meet your Lord with full accounts, but to meet Allah with a life of service and khidmat. But the reverse in dunya now is the state of hoarding, amassing because the lack of faith that, oh I have it today, I won't have it tomorrow, Allah won't send it again. He made a mistake this time because Allah will really find out who I am and no send anymore. It becomes the opposite of faith. And Allah is granting for servants, bifam saliheen, whom what? They give of their charity and their hands are open in life. And their life and the adab of tariqah, because it's not a regular association with somebody teaching regular understandings, they teach us the battle of the self. So in your notes put down, nothing is yours, you're not giving anyone anything. Don't give your charity credit to yourself. I was very generous, I gave this, I gave that. The tariqah comes, if you do that your nafs become very arrogant. Oh I gave a lot, now I'm entitled to something. And the tariqah's teaching that Prophet is asking, Ya Rabbi, not even for a blink of an eye let me to be in the presence of my nafs. Means don't let it come, if it should take it will begin to ride and very difficult to get that creature off. So even in the giving there's an adab. So use the vocabulary of that adab to train yourself. This is how we were raised. Mawlana Shaykh taught, it's not yours, not your family's yours, not your children yours, not your rizq and provision are yours. Because Islam means I submit to the will of Allah and my life was to be a servant of Allah. As if you were a servant, you came into the house and you start stealing the silverware. What kind of servant is that? Comes in, goes in your kitchen, steals everything, takes all your silverware. That's not servanthood. Servanthood, I'm merely a custodian for what Allah has sent upon my temporary life. The children are not mine to destroy them in their faith and do whatever I want with them, not allow them to have the deen or allow them to have the deen, allow them to put a dress on when they should have pants. Say, no, I want them to understand and experience everything. Allah will curse you and punish you. They were not yours to do that with, they were His, Allah's property. Allah sent them to us as what? An amanat, as a trust for trustworthy people. So my life was what? To understand what is the amanat. I have been entrusted with my faith, I have been entrusted with my body, I have been entrusted with my property, my family, my children. Entrusted. So we're asking to be a trustworthy servant. So people go out on the street and they say, oh, this is one of those sadiqs. Why? By who? By their own tongue they're sadiq, or by their actions and deeds? Now here come the actions and deeds. How this person is sadiq? Oh, because I saw him on Hajj and he's always at Jummah. What are you talking about? Sadiq in Allah's eyes is he understood the trust. He came in, he didn't pillage the wealth. He knew there's a portion of his wealth straight for Allah, no question. Otherwise that becomes poisonous. Before anyone eats, Allah takes the portion. Why? Because it goes back to building a community. That person knows that whatever time they have to give time for Allah. Everything is a life of khidmat, service, everything. قُلْ إِنَّ الصَّلَاةِ وَالنُّسُكِ وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. My life and my death, my service, my everything that I came onto this earth. If we're trying to be sadiq and they all love to think they're from Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Sadiq, but what part is truthful in their actions and in their deeds? These great sadiq and sadiqs are teaching to us, oh your deeds have to be truthful. If you're true to your trust, it was entrusted to you, now what you doing? And they see your account going tuk, 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 tuk. How is that entrusted to you? You're not gaining that trust, you're going to be taken off of the board of directors of trusts. Children not raised with the love of Prophet because you have a munafiq sitting at the table. What we talked earlier. How are we going to raise our children to love Prophet and we sit and down talk the shaykh and down talk the teachings in our homes and on our tables and in front of their ears? When you're angry and you yell and you say something, Allah say, you came against the Rasul. The shaykh is the symbol for you and the representation of Sayyidina Muhammad. Your life make no difference. Don't live a life of hypocrisy. In our life the goal was my shaykh was the representation of Sayyidina Muhammad. And Ya Rabbi, grant me the ability that if Prophet was in my time I would have acted like this. And this is the perfection of faith. I go to his presence with adab, I deal in his presence with adab. My reverence and love for him as I love Prophet. Why? Because he's going to bring out now the hadith for you. He's the hadith al-Qudsi where Allah describing that I'm His hearing, I'm His seeing, I'm the tongue in which He speaks, the hand in which He touches, the feet in which He moves. All these awliya are the hadith al-Qudsi of Prophet. Why are people coming? Because of their magnetic character, they have jazba? No. It's the light and the love of Prophet that attracts people. Who's speaking? From the heart of Prophet is speaking. If they're kind and have good character, then where that love is emanating from the heart of Prophet. Because some people are also asking, well how I don't know Shaykh how to draw close to Prophet, I'm not born in this. Who had to be born in this? The companions were born in this? This was about being born in something? No. If you didn't get it till now you're not going to ever get it. The one right in front of you is that reflection. You just don't have eyes to see it, you don't have an ear to hear it, you definitely don't have any eyes to understand it because you're using the wrong eye. So in our training in our life this was our understanding. My shaykh was the reflection of Prophet for me. If no one else, I don't care. I made that door in my heart, I served that door in my heart, and I took many difficulties and kept that door, and as a result everything opened. When I would kiss his hand, would see the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad up here. When I served, connect my heart, I was in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. Not his power, his ability to be nothing, and my ability to love brought that presence to be in front of me. So, if this is what you believe, we will grant you your belief. Because we have to always give the understanding, the shaykh has certain powers, he's going to use his powers. His power is for something else. Your power lies within you. I can't give you faith, shaykh can't give anyone faith, there's no shaykh out there gives anybody faith. The shaykh has good characters, good manners, and is continuously trying to annihilate themselves in their chain and their shaykhs to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. So that why? That juzbah, the emanation, fires, everything that the book is describing. Where's our book now? They sold even that copy? They sold the last copy here. There's no 6 powers. That's the juzbah, the magnetism, right? The shaykh understood magnetism, his shaykh dressed him with it. He understood the fires of who? The fires of Sayyidina Muhammad coming through. Then we went through the whole thing, that even the tawajjuh, tawassul and the tie. Why tie? Because they have to continuously be in that presence. So how do you love Sayyidina Muhammad? You love the guide, you listen to the guide. When he asks you to do something a certain way, do it. Take the teachings, follow it. In your heart talk to Allah that I didn't live at that time, let me practice with this reality and make it to be real for me. And your faith will be astonishing, it can move mountains. Everyone has their own level of faith, but the guide comes back and teaches, this is what I did that got me here. I made that door and had no doubt in it. I said, this door for me is the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. I gave my life at that door. I was truthful to my love, I never betrayed the love, I never backbite and attacked the love. And with everything that went through my life, my soul is connected to that love and nothing else can change it because the bond has been made. And that was our life. And don't think you're connected to somebody else and give stories that, oh we know Shaykh Nazim, we knew this one. You don't care who you knew, you don't know your shaykh, you don't know anything. It's not a tourist place, I went touring here, people love to sit and say, I went there, I went here, I went there. Who cares where you went? If you can accomplish the connection with your living guide right now in front of you, all those stories don't have any value. The only value is that Allah put a shaykh in front of you, are you able to make the connection, to understand the love? That this love I have for the shaykh, I feel the presence of Prophet coming. If you do it right, then you should have felt him take you right into that maqam and sit right there in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad because that's where he's sitting. So you come through the door, you feel the presence, you enter where they're sitting. You could come to him and say, I don't know how to find the love of Prophet. What does that mean? You didn't understand the whole thing? You thought you were going somewhere by yourself and we're here as like a entertainment mule that you come by and visit every now and then? Or the shaykh's symbol is to be understood by that reality. And that's why then they adhere to the teachings. So when Allah is saying that by giving and charity you become from Saliheen, so they don't want a company of non-Saliheen. So you see other people go around, oh you don't have to have a charity, and why do we have to have charity? And all the tariqahs was all charity. When you would come to their zawiyas, they had huge farm and you had to go out there and work with the sheep, work with the fruits and give your time was charity. Many people would leave their occupations and come and their whole life was a charity to serve. What are you talking about there was no charity? The charity makes people Saliheen. When a shaykh doesn't teach people to be charitable, to give their time, give their wealth, give their love, open their heart, well, there are not going to be any Saliheen amongst them. It's going to be majlis of crooks and robbers. We've been to those places, kind of like smoke on the side and all of them look like they're like robbers. What's wrong with these people? But if you do it right, the people will be glowing. They give their time, thousands of pounds of food they're picking up and distributing, picking up and distributing. Instead of working, they're going out and doing their service. And they understood that when Allah is saying, zakat, don't play with your zakat. Don't think you're a pious and great person, give from what Allah has given to you. Straight off the top, don't play any games. I give here, I give there, I give here. No, don't trinkle. Imagine you went to a job and say, your pay periodically every day we'll give you something. It's like, what? Yeah, today here's $20, tomorrow here's $50, next day nothing, following day $5. Could anyone live like that? Is that the system of zakah? No, this is the nafs making up things, thinking that this is us, I'm feeling charitable today, I like you today, here. I don't like you today, nothing. I like you yesterday, here's something. Why are you giving yourself any type of credit? You're supposed to handcuff yourself to the shaykh. So, this is my income, this is my zakat. And immediately I put it on to the charity side, this is my zakat, this is the 5-10% we're paying zakat, not 2.5%. Go down to the masjid down the street if that's what you like. You give the percentage, you make $100 you give your 5%, you make $100,000 you give your 5%, who cares? Straight off the top, we're not behind the IRS, we're in front of the IRS or CRA, right? It's a very simple system our lives had. You calculate it, every month it goes. That way if you don't like the talk it still went. Next day you're angry, it still went. So that why you're going to tie your foot to his foot, because now battles are coming. Where are you going? And making everything as if it's your idea, your understanding. You gave a lot of credit to your nafs, and one day your nafs is going to flip you in a wrestling match. I don't like this guy and I'm gone. In our life we said this was the whole key, he flipped me left and right. If you saw like a Charlie Chaplin wrestling match, he would take me and throw me. If I had the ability to run I would have run 1,000 times, but I gave so much, there was no way to sit there and say, there was no way I could do this again, and I would never leave this love, but there was no way I could do that again. It started. So he flipped me, the wrestling match, like the wrestling he would get up on the things and jump. Imagine how hard wrestling was. I felt my life was like that. A path of humiliation is not something can be understood. It wasn't sitting with tea and baklava, I'm nice to everybody. We would travel and he would humiliate and you go home crying. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to run. And you just stayed quiet and stayed quiet and stayed quiet until Allah found satisfaction in the character, your demeanour, your ability to remain silent. And this was our whole life. And that's why Allah is describing, if you want to be from Saliheen, not the shaykh telling you, Allah's commanding you. Why? The ending is the reverse of the beginning. If you want to avoid the munafiqeen, then rely on your charity. Your whole life is going to be charity. Your time is going to be a charity, your ability is going to be a charity, your life is going to be one day your life will be called into action. And it's all a charity in Allah's way. And for these ashiqeen and Muhammadiyun, it counters what Allah was giving us at the beginning of scariness, that their shahada is fake, it only to their tongue and not to their heart. All that we described, its resolution and solution is in verse 10 and 11. That give your life to be Saliheen. And as a result you give, and this is your ticket. What was verse 11? You say, I'm not going to do it, Shaykh, because Allah has to give a resolution into a difficulty. You can't just say, here's a difficulty in your lives. That avoid the hypocrisy of coming against Sayyidina Muhammad. And these were all the characters of not asking for his du'a, not asking for his forgiveness, and that he must forgive us. Why? Because the haqqaiq is your light came from where? From Allah? You owe any sins to Allah? You did anything against Allah? No, people who have no mind think they did. But the people of haqqaiq is your light was from Muhammadun Rasulullah. So why Allah asking us, make istighfar? Because your light is from Prophet Nur al-Muhammadi, and the gunaah and the sins you do go on to the light of Sayyidina Muhammad. And that's why Allah asking us, go to the presence of Prophet, ask his forgiveness, to pray forgiveness for you. It's his light, he's the owner of this light. I will ask from Prophet. Our whole life was this service and these realities, to reach to that reality. And then verse 11 is,
and Allah will never give respite to any soul when its promise arrives, and Allah is aware of your deeds.
I heard, but I'm going to wait. And we say difficult times are coming, and when these difficult times come, Allah is saying it's not something that you die and say, okay now I'm going to do it. How are you going to do it? How many have relatives that should have done the correct thing, and on their last few breaths of life they did everything incorrect, came against pious people, left nothing in the way of Allah, and the corrupted took it and ran with it. So our life is not about later. This is the ticket to be Saliheen. And that's why they come in our lives and teach us what? Be charitable, be generous, be loving, be caring. We're not playing that we do a shuffle from here to there. Everything has its category, zakah has its own category, giving gift and milad is a category, every other service is a different category. And our lives are about charity, and we go out and we give time and we give our ability. I have the ability to write or speak, I give it in the way of Allah. This is the gift Allah gave to us, that you can speak, your heart is connected to us, now go out and be of service. And you go and sit somewhere for 10 days to serve, of which is not easier as you get older. But this is my life and my commitment to khidmat and service. And 3 days a week broadcasting, so that people are not disconnected from the tariqah, and that they feel that they are connected, they're able to email, they're able to make the connection to the love of Sayyidina Muhammad until the time it's there. Where we warned they're going to cut the internet, they're going to cut the power. And now they say, oh yeah, there's a solar flare coming from NASA. So everybody has to be ready for whatever's coming in life, inshaAllah. We pray that Allah grant us a greater understanding. We covered the spiritual because this is all about the spiritual. When we understood the great enemy and we say, oh these guys, yeah we understand these crazy corrupt people, then the greatest danger is inside. Ya Rabbi, don't let my inside be like that. That I find a critique against everything that comes to do with the ishq and muhabbat of Sayyidina Muhammad. Don't critique it. That's why we said before, if you live with a life that this is the reflection of Prophet for me. Others don't see it. People came in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, didn't see it. Even said that he had not the faculty and that he was using magic. And they do the same thing. So, this shaykh's using magic because they can't explain juzbah. But that's okay because that's the sunnah to be called that. There's the sunnah of shayateen to tell people, oh they do magic, they do like, because unexplained barakah. How do you explain barakah to people? They can't. So it means the spirituality is that my life is that this is the representation, this is the reflection, this is the rose garden that I belong to, the Muhammadi, qul al-Muhammadi. How then when you talk I could say anything and in front of my children say, oh you're mocking the Prophet, the teachings of the Prophet? He's not a Prophet but you're mocking the teachings from the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad. What you are doing is you'll diminish the importance of Sayyidina Muhammad in our lives and in your family lives. And they'll think that everything you did was a joke because they remembered story after story after story after story until they compiled the book. And they'll repeat it to you when they get older and say, oh it's like this, but you said like this, you said like this. 35 years, 30 years we're doing this is all we've seen. People who say they're with you, they go home and they speak against you. But they're speaking to young sponges whom are hearing and hearing and hearing until the day grows up where the sponge gives back all the juice that you had put into it and says, I don't want anything to do with your faith. You really didn't like these people. No I do now, I really love them. No you don't. So our life was the battle with the inner munafiq, that my reverence, this was for the bad side, my reverence on how to reach the reality is that I love them more than I love myself. I serve with all my life, all my heart, all my ability. Until I told you when I would be in that presence it was no difference, as if the shaykh vanished and I was in the presence of whom I loved. And every time he spoke I was sitting in the presence of the one whom I love. And he became a portal for me in which to gain the access that was necessary. And that's all they are. He would gain the access, say, if you want to come through that door, come sit and sit with Sayyidina Muhammad. So when people want to know how, it's very easy how, but they're just not hearing. You'd be astonished how many times you can say something to someone and they actually do the exact opposite or something else. Because they have ears but they don't hear, and they have eyes and they don't see. We pray that Allah open for us a greater understanding, very simple practice. Your muraqabah, your meditation, listen to how they're guiding. They want people to be saliheen, be charitable. It's like pulling teeth from people. They don't want to part thinking it's all going to vanish. Well that's not faith. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon. وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة محمد المصطفى وبسير سورة الفاتحة.
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.